Hey, what's up, guys? It's Drew from The Money Is Show, and today I have a special guest on the episode with me. One reason he's a special guest is because he's the youngest guest I've had on the show so far. When I met him and he joined the Power Room, he was 19 years old, and so we want to get him on the show for you, especially not just because he's the youngest, but also because of what he's accomplished at such a young age and where he's headed with it. Kapil originally came from India, moved over to the United States at a very young age, or teenage years, I should say, and started his business. At the age of 19, he already did close to 50 real estate transactions, and then pivoted his entire career after doing that, which most people would find as a massive success, and said, hey, I want to go get my finance degree and work in finance with debt funds and so forth inside of the fund world. On that note, I'm going to introduce you guys to the youngest person ever on The Money Is Show as to date, which is Kapil. Man, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man. So we met each other maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
Yeah, 4
Something
months
like that,
ago.
right?
Right in
no, it's in May. My God, it's already May.
January.
Yeah, we met in January. So 4 or 5 months ago we met, right? And at that point, like I said on the intro, man, you were the youngest person to ever join the Power Room.
Yeah.
At 19 years old.
19 years
right?
old. Yeah.
All right. So let's back up a little bit. Tell me the story. How old were you when you moved over to America? Tell me that story.
So I moved when I was 17.
Okay.
I landed here May 13th, 2018.
You landed it when you were 17 years old.
17 years old.
You landed in America with mom and dad.
Mom and dad, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Background: money, no money, middle class. What was it?
My dad was an entrepreneur throughout
Okay.
his life. Really didn't build anything that was super successful.
Okay.
But I would say middle class.
Middle class.
Middle class Indian.
Okay.
So money, no money, right in between there. So, you know.
Okay. Why did your parents move over?
It's an interesting story. There was some, my dad was politically involved.
Okay.
And the things were not doing good for him. So we had to move in order to save his life.
Really?
Yeah.
So he was on the political side of it, and then decided to make a transfer.
Yeah.
And left India to come to America. All right. Was he the first from your side of family side to move to America, or did you already have family here?
My older brother moved to Canada 5 years ago, but there was no one else in my family who literally
that was here. So it wasn't like you had a bunch of aunts, uncles, cousins
I knew
here.
no one.
It was just you guys. You
No
guys jumped
one.
on a plane and flew here.
Just flew here, yeah.
Do you know what made him go to Indiana?
So,
Because out of 50 states, it's a random one.
so we were already kind of hired before we even got on a flight.
Sure.
So this guy had 3 gas stations in Indiana, in South Bend, in the Notre Dame area.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, I'll hire all 3 of you.
Well, okay.
So we already kind of had jobs before coming here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's how you ended up in Indiana.
That's
so
how
if those 3 gas stations would have been in Florida, you'd have ended up in Florida.
In Florida.
That's how you freaking chose where you're gonna live. That's unique, man. Okay, so you get over here. You're 17. You get to America. Do you speak English at that time?
Yes, broken, I
Okay.
would say. I never had the accent that I have now. And my education was mostly English.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did your parents speak English at that time?
No.
They did not speak English. It was just you.
Yeah, my mom and dad do speak a little bit. They can understand. But if you and me are speaking really fast, it goes over the head.
Over the head. All right. At a young age, 17, 18, did you ever find yourself playing like interpreter?
Oh, yeah, always.
Was it always?
Always, yeah.
You had to interpret between the two different sides there.
Yeah.
That is so unique. I see it happen all the time with, like, obviously in real estate. I work with a lot of Hispanic, and it's amazing how many of the young children that are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, showing up to work with their dad and translate.
Yeah, negotiating for them.
Yeah, negotiating at like 10 years old on behalf, and they're like, no, my dad said it's too low. And, they're 10 years old.
I remember buying, especially in that part of Indiana, because you were in that area, right? That part of Indiana, there's a lot of Hispanics. And I remember buying a 3-pack from this guy, Hispanic, that was his son, like as 16 years old, was negotiating on his behalf.
Sitting there negotiating for him.
I was like, well, that's very impressive.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah,
you
that's
did
what
as
I
well.
did.
Now, what made you go get in real estate?
It was an interesting pivot, to be honest. I was working in a gas stations 90 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not what I came to America for.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was flying from India to US on my way over.
You read it on the airplane over. That's so funny,
dude. It was a 24-hour flight.
Sure.
And I remember reading it. And when I was reading it, definitely pushes real estate too much in the book, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was the way to go. But when I got here, real estate in India to real estate in America is a night and day difference. Mm-hmm. It's just totally another ballgame. But just got into and saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
And the story goes back with I knocked on someone's door. I was listening to Tai Lopez, and he was like, well, if you want to achieve something, just have that avatar that you want to be, and just go talk to them. And I was like, all right. And I knocked on this guy's door. I was like, I'll work for you for free.
Oh my goodness.
Teach me real estate.
Okay. I was asking how you learn real estate. So this is how you figured out how real estate works.
Yeah.
You knew that he did real estate somehow.
Yeah, because he had the big sign out there is like, we buy the good, the bad, the ugly houses.
Okay, gotcha.
So I just called up and I was like, he didn't pick up for 2-3 times. And then he had a watch on his door, the front door of his office, that I'll be back at 11:30, and he'll never be back there. So finally, after I think a week or two, he answered my call, and we met, and we just started from there.
And so you basically did a free internship to get your education. Yeah. How long did you do it for?
I would say it was 4 to 5 months. It was a very hard time for me because it was not that easy to work with the guy, and most of the people probably know him that you met, and it was just it was a hard time. But then I went out and worked for another guy and managed 55 rentals for him. At the same age, I think was turning 18 at that point. It was very pivoting right there. I was going high school in the morning, and after the high school I was running around collecting rents. Mm-hmm. So that's what. So the total internship between both of those mentors, I would say 8 to 9 months.
That you put the time in as a free intern, if you will.
Free intern, totally free.
To learn real estate on the wholesale side?
No. So never, it was never about wholesaling.
Okay.
So the first person was fix and flipping mostly, and rentals. He was pretty much doing everything. The second guy was just totally rentals.
Okay.
Totally 100% rentals. So I didn't even knew wholesaling existed, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's what you do now, which is what you got into is wholesale. So then where does the wholesale come from? So
very interesting story, right? So totally pivoted because I was not enjoying the managing side of the rentals. And those rental applications come in. And there was this lady, who's like, oh, I'd really need to move into a rental. I was like, okay. Like, why do you need a house that quick? So like, I need a house in like 2 days. I was like, why do you want to move from that house? Are you getting evicted or what's happening? And she's like, no, there's a hole in the roof and my grandma is about to lose it in a tax sale.
Okay.
Now, as soon as I heard those two words, tax sale, I knew about tax sales before because I lost a little bit of money, and we can talk about that in there. And she was like, there's a hole in the roof and she's going to lose it in 2 days. And I was like, all right, there we go. I was like, does she want to sell it? And she was like, yeah, she'll sell it. And I go up, pull up Zillow, and Zillow said it's worth like 75. And I was like, what would your grandma take for it? Oh, she's like, I don't know. And I called up her grandma, and she couldn't speak and listen. So she was, deaf and dumb. And so I had to drive for like an hour to meet her and talk to her in the sign language or figure it out. And I was like, would you take $5,000 for it? And she was like, yeah, I'll take $5,000 for it.
Wow.
So I went out. I still didn't know what wholesaling was.
Okay.
Right? I went out and borrowed money because there was $8,000 owed in taxes.
Sure.
And $5,000. So I knew this guy who gave me money at 8% a month. So I went
8% a month.
A month.
Wow.
So,
that's pretty high.
It was cash money, right?
Yeah.
Right off the topic. I went to him. I was like, how much do you know? I was like, I need 13 grand. I was like, here it is. So I didn't care.
Yeah, sure.
What it was. At that time, only the opportunity mattered to me, right? So I bought it, quit claimed it. To me, right at that time, went to the tax office, paid the taxes, the auditor, and property in my name, turned around, sold it for 21. I think after paying all the interest and everything, I made like 6.5 $6,500 off of the property.
Was that your first personal deal?
That was my first personal deal, and I still remember looking at that check.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was like, this is just just a lot of money.
Because at the gas station, they're taking like 3-4 months.
Gas station. I was working 90 hours a week, 90 to 100 hours a week. There was no life outside. It's like you wake up, go to the gas station, sleep, wake up, gas station, sleep. It was that no off, nothing.
Wow, no, 7 days a week.
Just 7 days a week. You're just living the same lifestyle. And I used to get, it was honestly a liquor store.
Yeah.
I used to get, and I was, not to say I was working illegally because I was underage, $2,300 a month, straight salary.
Okay.
So there was no hourly pay or anything like that. Just,
Of course, you probably got like full benefits, insurance, health, 401k.
Oh yeah.
Time off.
All the benefits.
2 weeks paid vacation. You got all that too, right?
Yeah. And I remember this guy at the liquor store didn't pay me for 2 weeks when I left.
Oh no.
So there's just some.
And he still hasn't paid you?
No.
Oh man. It's like, say 200 hours.
Well, I'm glad because now he'll be watching this interview.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about entrepreneurship. I mean, I'm thinking about it from a standpoint of, here you are as a young, even kid at that moment, and you're a immigrant coming in, and your brain is telling you, go to entrepreneurship, go create something, build something, start something.
Yeah.
Where do you think entrepreneurship comes from?
I think it's the burning desire, and I think it's the desire to do something different from what everyone else is doing. When you come to States, this is a land of opportunities.
Yeah.
It's a buffet, right? It's a buffet you enter into. It's like you pick what you like. And I think entrepreneurship is if you have the courage to back your ideas, and if you're not afraid, if you have the courage to back your ideas, and if you believe in yourself, this is the right country and the right world for you. I think that's what entrepreneurship is about, is the courage to back up what you have. Courage to back up what you know, and the guts to follow your dreams.
Do you think that people are born as entrepreneurs, or everybody's born kind of the same, and then some people just choose the path of entrepreneurship?
I would say there's a mix of both. I think a lot of it goes how you're brought up.
Okay.
I think parts of it lies, if you're born and brought up with a fearless entrepreneurial family, I would say there's 60 to 70% chances that you'll end up pursuing the same route. But at the same time, if you're born and in a family that's been really conservative, job oriented, so I think a lot of it goes how you're brought up in those years from an age of 8 to 15. And what you see in those years really pivot what you're going to do in your life. So I think early years of your life really matters a lot.
So then apply it to you. When you were growing up, 8 to 15, it was in India.
Yeah.
Is that the time that your dad was the entrepreneur, doing different stuff?
Yeah, my dad had owned and operated multiple businesses. I think at one point he owned 3 businesses, managed a couple of employees. As I said, none of them were really successful because India is a underdeveloped country. It's a developing country, so you don't have the resources that you have here. So I always saw him, the hard-working side of it, right? Him sleeping 4-hour nights, working 20 hours. I remember when he got into the transportation business, he used to supply live chickens from one part of India to another. That business I remember a lot about growing up because those 3 years of my age of 14 to 17 were really hard to see him because it was a very hard business that he got into himself. But accidents and all that,
When you moved to America, I know you guys came over, went to, kind of all had at least a job out of the gate at these stores. Did your dad ever go back to entrepreneurship over here?
Not really. Not really. But at this point, he's done with all that hard-working part that you have, the struggle part of America. he works for himself. He's kind of self-employed. He's just he invests money with me. He'll lend me money on real estate deals and the money he has saved up. But he does not really have. He is kind of interested to be on the finance side of me to see if I go down the road and open up a fund and to make him the part of it. I really want to do that. But not at this moment. He's not pursuing any. He's more interested in doing what I'm doing. Gotcha. So I just want to be a part of it, either on the lending side, or right now I'm not in Indiana. I live here, so he's managing some of the managerial day-to-day operations there.
Because he's still there in South Bend.
He's still there in South
area.
Bend. Yeah.
And he knows there's way better places, right? To live. You've seen him. You've sent photos, right, of different places, right? Okay, just making sure it's very flat right there.
It is very flat,
especially if you come out here. When I was thinking about on the entrepreneurship side, and as you branched out and when you're on, one of the things that you said a while ago that made me think about it was, here you come across you're working as a rental landlord, leasing agent really.
Yeah.
And you come across this opportunity of getting this deal of you buying this house with a hole in the roof. But there's one part of it you tell the story of you had to go get the money and you went and borrowed this money. Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of truths here that I think that you mentioned that I think are relevant. Number one, at 18 years old, you were willing to go in debt to go do your business. Yeah. Right. That's one piece of it. The second thing of it is you're willing to pay whatever you needed to go pay. And 8% a month is stupid money. Like at first I thought you said 8% a year. I was like, oh, that's really good money. 8%. No, it's 8% a month, which is super high money. But I think there's 2 points there. Number one, you were not afraid to go borrow money to go pursue your dreams. And number two, you were not afraid to go pay someone. Obviously, look, it's not rocket science. You'd prefer to pay 0% annually if that was a choice, right? But most of them, you're starting out, that's not how it works, right? Talk to me about those two things right there. What do you think gave you the ability to understand that you're gonna have to go borrow this money and you're gonna have to go take some risk? It was no guarantees. There was no, if I do this, I for sure I'm gonna be able to pay this money back. That is not how entrepreneurship works, man. You're right, there's risk involved.
There is risk.
Here you're at 18 and you go borrow $13,000, 18 years old. What makes you go do it, to take that risk?
See, I came to this country with $1,500 in my pocket, right? I knew there's no way back. I'm not going back. And coming to taking risk, I was certain, right, if I don't sell this property, fine, $13,000. I told the guy when I was taking the money, I was like, this is my first deal. I might be making a dumb mistake here, and I was quit claiming it. So the risk on the other side was huge. What if there would have been a $50,000 mortgage on it? Right? So the risk here was immensely high. Because first, quit claiming it. Second, 8% interest. Worst case scenario, I knew it. If this deal falls apart, $13,000 is 5 months on a gas station. So I knew that I can pay this guy back. It's gonna be. I was counting in terms of my. It's a good point starting early on, right? If I couldn't pay him back, or the deal, let's say, would have gone to south. All right, fine. I'll go back, work 90 hours a week and pay you back. But I'll make sure you get paid back. So taking risk, that's why, I had the courage to do it. I believed in myself and I was like, if this deal falls apart, it falls apart, fine. I'll go back, work again, build myself back up and go do another deal.
Yeah, I see so many people that want to be entrepreneurs, even those that are watching right now, listening to this, is they have this idea that they want to be an entrepreneur, they have this dream that they want to pursue, but they're in this process of like, okay, I'm going to keep working my 90 hours a week, whatever it is, 50 hours, 60 hours a week, and I'm going to try to save up this extra $200 a paycheck, and eventually after 7 years of saving up this money, I will be able to launch my business or whatever it is, right? Or start my business or, whatever it may be. And to me, it's like, man, entrepreneurship, and maybe this is where I'm wrong at, but to me, entrepreneurship consists of risk. Like, that's just part of it. Yeah. And to me, it's like when you're trying to set money aside and set money aside and set money aside and set money aside, it's like when you're trying to save up, the whole concept of saving your way to wealth doesn't exist. And man, I think they're on a dead end road where it's like, dude, if you're willing to bet on yourself, because that's what you're really betting on, right? You're betting on yourself.
Yeah.
you're going to have to take some risk and go, and one of them's going to be, you have to go borrow some money from somebody, somewhere, to get this thing off the ground. Unless you just have the money in the bank and then go use that. But honestly, actually, I'd probably tell you, I might still use someone else's money when I was starting off. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I like it that you were just willing to jump in and take, at 18 years old, take the risk that a lot of people are just not willing to make. And then you think through it, like, okay, what is worst case scenario? What are we really talking here? If this whole deal goes bad, like it goes to the worst case scenario. And I can't even give the house to the guy for him to go sell it. Like, it's got a $50,000 hidden mortgage on it, right? Some super lien that you didn't even know was on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go work for 5 months and pay the money back and try it again. Like,
try it again. Exactly.
You got to go swing the bat, man.
See, getting back to that saving point, if I would have taken that route, I would have missed that deal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's no way.
I would have missed that deal. It was a 2-day deal.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have figured it out in those 2 days, I would have been not sitting
there.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist. And the other thing is, on the point I was making was, you were willing to go pay 8% a month on money, which is an insane amount of, and you hear this all the time. People are like, well, Drew, I want to go do this deal, I'm going to go do this deal, but man, I'm not going to pay a hard money lender if it's fix and flip. My God, they want 10%, Andrew. And that's not 10% a month, that's 10% a year.
10%
right?
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, a bank, my house is only 3.5%. And it's like, bro, that's not the same thing. No. You got a 30-year fixed mortgage on a perfectly good house.
Yeah.
This is a piece of crap house you're buying that needs major work done to it,
Absolutely.
But it's like they can't get that over their head that other person wants to make money on their money, and so they'll just keep passing on it and keep passing on deals because they don't want to pay. Look, again, I would love, and I have paid 0% before, and I would love to pay 0% on all my deals, but it's just not realistic.
No,
people want to make money on their money.
The other people are not in there for charity.
Exactly.
They're in there to making money. So if you can find someone who's willing to do charity and lend you on deals, you're really lucky. But
yeah.
But I think.
And let me give their number too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call me.
Call me, right? So, but taking the risk is all about. It's all about entrepreneurship. I think.
It goes hand in hand.
It's hand in hand. If there's no risk, there's no entrepreneurship, and I think it works better. Like it works. There's a lot of doctors you'll see on the side are doing real estate or doing rentals, but at the same time you'll see a doctor who's making millions a year investing in real estate. There's another guy, 25-year-old, just learning it through YouTube, crushing better than him.
Yeah, on real estate.
Just because he doesn't have any fear, doctor probably has more fear than him, even though there's more money sitting. I think the more the money sits in bank account and the more you're like, oh, I saved up this money 7 years, I don't want to lose it.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what job you have. Even in your example as a doctor, when you're
anyone high income.
Yeah, yeah. When you're working to set the money aside, and it took you whatever the amount of time is, 12 years to get this $7 million cash in the bank. Yeah. That $7 million cash is still mentally and emotionally tied for the 12 years of your life that it took you to get that money.
Absolutely.
So it becomes very, very not in a bad way. And I'm saying this word, but a very stingy, fearful person with money. Where the entrepreneur that makes the $7 million, maybe he made it in 3 years, and for him it's like, yeah, but if I lose it all, I'll just go do it again, and I can go do something else. Where that guy's like, well, I don't have 12 more years to replace all my time and effort and energy, right? And then it becomes very hard for them to invest it.
That's the beauty of entrepreneurship. The more the risk, the more the reward. I would say calculated risk.
Yeah, sure. This isn't blind risk that we're talking about.
In the beginning, when you start, like when I start and did that deal, I would say it was a blind risk because I could have done it better, like done a title on it or anyways, but like calculated risk.
Yeah.
With the I would say unknown upside, I think it's pretty good.
So we talk about obviously the entrepreneurial life and risk. Obviously right now you just turned 20. You've been an entrepreneur basically for 2 years, going on 2 years now.
Yeah.
Talk to me about coming over from as an immigrant, jumping into entrepreneurship. What do you see as some of the big struggles that are out there with entrepreneurship, even at an early age?
I think one of the biggest struggle is immigration. Because, not to say it, I didn't even have a driver's license when I was managing 55 rentals.
Yeah.
So I was driving through the town without a driver's license.
Yeah.
Is getting the paperwork started in order to go out and and do the smaller things. I think being an immigrant in this country, it's the smaller things really hurt. Mm-hmm. Smaller things like entering few offices, and there's always a fear in back of your mind. Sure. Is like, if something goes south, and if I end up in front of a cop, or in front of a judge, I might get,
sent back. Yeah.
So those were few risks in the beginning. The other risks I would say are getting in front of, I still struggle getting in front of bigger banks, lenders, just because there's not enough background, or there's not enough experience. So coming is the biggest thing is immigration. Mm-hmm. Is I think if the rules were little softened up or little better off, I could have done better. I've done more, or I do feel that part left off through.
Do you think that on the immigration here with me as an entrepreneur? Do you think that if we flip the coin on the immigration and entrepreneurship, do you think there was also this driving force behind you?
Yeah.
That because you were an immigrant, right, coming over here. Because, I mean, look, again, what I'm saying is like 17, I just feel like you have a different viewpoint on entrepreneurship and land of opportunity that a lot of times people that are born and raised here, not everybody, but a lot of times like in anything, you start taking it for granted what you can go do. So I totally listen and understand what you're saying, that, man, immigration would be a struggle. Because like you said, like, gosh, you got to walk on these public offices and federal government buildings, especially when you're in real estate, right? Like, it's a common thing
it's a constant,
that you're going to have to go do, right? And you're with attorneys all the time.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So there's always that fear that's there that I could see as a total struggle. Mm-hmm. But on the same side of the coin, I guess what I'm trying to get to is, I wonder if the biggest struggle was also maybe your biggest driving force
so
as well.
It was a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Right? So blessing in the terms, the hunger was through the roof. Like, I want to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Just getting on that plane from India, from New Delhi, and flying in that 24-hour flight, you think that your life's going to change.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, for sure.
That flight is the most pivotal moment of your life, because...
I've never thought about that.
Because in that flight, you're only thinking that as soon as I land in America... the thing's going to open up for me.
Everything's going to change.
Everything's going to change, and money's going to flow in. And, there's going to be wealth, cars, everything you can imagine of, right? As an American dream, that's what you call it, right? So I think the hunger, just like proving myself. Showing off to my buddies back in India. Or something. Just the hunger was driving just crazy. Like, no, like, get up, do something, create something, be an entrepreneur, read this book, or go meet this guy, talk to this guy. It was like those words like fear, afraid, or quit, right? Were not even on the dictionary. Because I was like, 90 hours on a gas station, or
7 days a week.
6 months internship, and maybe the future turns out amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting here thinking about it. I mean, I've done a ton of international flights, and I've never thought about that, when I'm flying back from a Hong Kong or, a Singapore or London or wherever to Dubai, there's people on those plane. When I land, I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm finally back, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But for some of the people on the plane, this was their journey to America. And they've saved up X for however long, and like they're getting on this plane thinking, man, I wonder if they're gonna give me a what do they call it in Hawaii, a lei of flowers, when I get off this plane here for because I finally made it to America, and although to them it was like the biggest opportunity, for a lot of people on the plane, it was just like, ho hum, I'm back home. Let me go do whatever I want to do. Where for others, it was like, because not everybody on that plane that you came over was coming over to move over. Some were visiting, some were on business that were in India from America, and it was just like, well, I'm back home. But for others, it was like that 24 hours was like life-changing for them. That's crazy. I never thought about that.
Absolutely. The only thing I knew was that my dad had closer to, like, if I converted in the US, like 40,000 in debt when we were flying. The only thing I knew was I got to pay that back. And the only thing I knew is I just got to work hard, buy that lifestyle for my parents or buy that lifestyle for myself that I've always seen in movies or always seen on Instagram or Snapchat. So I think that as you said is a journey that just changes your life, and it's at the same time it's a blessing and a curse.
And one thing I want to talk about is you have built this real estate team, did like 50 plus deals right away. But one thing that probably makes you extremely unique versus other wholesalers, obviously I know a ton of real estate wholesalers, is your ability to build a team, manage a team around
delegate
right?
Stuff, yeah.
Because right now you're in Idaho area, Utah, Idaho area, and Indiana is freaking whatever it is, 3,000, 2,500 miles away, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's like,
but you're still running the business there.
Yeah, most of my business is still in Northwest Indiana and the Notre Dame area and the closer to Chicago area. We do stuff in Michigan, Grand Rapids area of Michigan, and now we just started up Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
And we're gonna start Idaho Falls here soon. So I pivoted into building team really early on because I met Eddie Wilson.
Yeah.
I met Eddie, and after talking to Eddie, it changed the perspective of, because when I saw him as like, okay, how do you own and manage 86 businesses? And then I learned about systems, and I didn't even knew that those two words existed in business, right? So then I started pivoting. Then I spent a lot of time, built a CRM for my own. Just started watching YouTube and building it, copy pasting it from other people, and then started hiring. Hired few wrong people in the beginning. Then ended up hiring few good people. That took a lot off my plate, gave me more freedom to grow, and that just pivoted me totally. Was like, if I can put right people in right seats and give them the confidence. I think a lot of entrepreneurs make this mistake of a control freak, and you're a visionary, I'm a visionary too, is you gotta let go of that control. Moving from Indiana to Idaho was a totally very, what do you call it, a very hard step, but I wasn't a control freak because I knew I was confident in my people. Because like I put confidence in my people, and 80% of my team is totally outside US. So most of my team is Philippines and Pakistan. And there's the people who work for me in America are working on commission basis or deal per deal basis. So I think delegation and building systems and processes is very, very crucial in your. It's been 2 months. I haven't been on a property. So I haven't seen it, touched it. I just wanna. I'm in the growth phase. Where I just want to grow and build more.
What when you hired Philippines and Pakistan, in all sincerity, my first thought that went through my head, if I'm a listener, is why didn't you hire India?
I just didn't find anyone, to be honest.
That you needed?
Yeah. When I was going through...
These are all VAs, I'm assuming?
All VAs. When I was going through the Upwork and some of the other websites you use to hire outside US, I didn't really find anyone from India that was very interested, or I saw that drive, or, Philippines is... We mostly do cold calling through Philippines. And Pakistan is, they do a lot of skip tracing and all. They do a lot of stuff that is time consuming. Excel spreadsheets, managing the bunch of data that we go through in wholesaling business. So to be honest, if I find someone, I previously hired a CPA from India to do my books. That was my first hire from India, and I've been pretty happy about it and proud of it too a little bit.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Because I want to support my own people, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter to me. I just found they fit really good in the company.
So you didn't go through a VA service, you just went straight through like Upwork?
Straight through Upwork, hired the right people, yeah.
Gotcha.
Took a little time to figure it out, but...
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of, do you pay them hourly?
Pay them hourly. It's, they all are hourly.
Yeah. Now, let's shift gears for a second here. I want to move into why this big shift from... Obviously, most people inside of real estate would look back and say, my God, if I did 50 deals in my first 5 years, I'd be super, super happy. You do 50 deals in your first year or so, and then it's like, okay, cool, I'm going to go get a finance degree. What is this driving force to go get this finance degree?
So now a lot of people talk about passion.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a point in my life was I was figuring it out. I was like, is real estate my real passion?
Mm-hmm.
Then I kind of stumbled upon, I was like, maybe not, or maybe it is.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, I thought the business side and the finance side attracts me a lot more than just real estate, or, you know, and the part of getting to the delicate, you know, building a team. When I built a team and I saw that I really have a lot of time on my hands, so I was like, why do I not go out and experiment with my life? So again, I'm not afraid. I know there's something that I can fall back on. So I just took a chance and I was like, let me go out and pursue this dream of maybe seeing how finance degree turns out, or like that part, and building business part has attracted me a lot. It gives me goosebumps whenever I talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think there's something about it that attracts me in the finance side of businesses.
Yeah.
Like, I would say big part of it was watching Shark Tank too.
Sure.
You know, structuring deals, and I think doing stuff on a bigger level, like growing businesses, like taking something from zero and making sure it's making money. I think those things, and I die to do it. Like, I'm dying inside right now because it's my first semester in college and I really did not get any of the finance classes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, like 90% of I'm behind, you know, and because none of those classes really attract me.
Yeah, they don't mean anything to you, really.
They don't mean anything to me. So I'm looking for those parts, and I find people on campus are doing finance majors, like sit down and talk to them and see, okay, you're in the fourth year.
Yeah.
So I think that part of me, of the money management, money movement, investing, growing capital, compounding money, just blows my mind. Like,
do you want to get into the side of finance where you're managing other people's money, or just your own investments?
I would say kind of both.
Uh-huh.
You know, I've watched the other reason that drives me to finance part was watching Warren Buffett a lot.
Sure.
Warren Buffett and now Ray Dalio.
Uh-huh.
Like, those are the people, like I watch them before sleeping, like a video or two or something about them. So I think that's also a part that drives me a little bit to the finance part, is watching those two people a little too much. And so I would say managing other people's money and managing my own money.
Obviously, I know you're freshman year of college of this finance degree, right? And you've got the business that you're still running and operating. But if you try to look down the road some to see, as you graduate college, if you painted a picture for us to understand who Kapil is, what would Kapil want to do 4 years, 5 years from now when he graduates college? What is that?
I would say opening up a fund.
Okay.
And managing, and I would say it'll be a both, like a growing businesses, and on the other side the debt fund.
It's like a growth and debt.
Growth and debt. Something like Kellen is, you know, and I've been talking to Kellen to see if we can do some together. So I think those two parts are really interesting.
Interesting.
Or maybe I would say going in with someone like Kellen, or going in with someone and just maybe buying into it as a equity, or buying in as a third fund, or opening up something. So I think down the road I see myself being involved in managing money and growing more as a venture capitalist on that part.
Were you here? Did I introduce you to Benson Metcalf?
Yeah, I'm having a meeting with Benson next week.
You were here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if you were.
I was here, yeah.
You were here for that one or not. And I got, when you get off air, remind me, I got some breaking news for you that you're going to freaking love.
Sure.
That I totally forgot about. I get hit with so much different stuff. I totally forgot about this. And
Sure.
you were going to.
Yeah, you texted me about it.
Well, that was someone coming in today. This is a totally different thing. That this is something that in the next 30 days you're gonna love.
Okay.
So remind me to tell you after the show, and I'll walk you through it, man.
Sure.
Yeah. So when you as you build out, you grow this fund. You want to open the fund, manage people's money, not down the financial advisor route, right? Or like money broker route.
No.
More as just a fund operator. and we say fund, we're saying fund, not fun.
Fun, no, yeah. It's F-U-N-D.
Yeah, operator there. Yeah. I want to ask you about money now, since this is a topic that you mainly are involved in. We talk about money is, and this is your mugshot right here of Kapil.
Yeah.
You actually had a little bit longer hair right there.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, you got a little more trimmed up now. Yeah. But here we go. You got money is. I want you to put your answer right there and then sign it right here. And then I want to talk to you about what that answer is.
Sure.
And what it means to you. I'll open this up for you.
Thank you. I'm going to sign it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we should write like youngest guest underneath it. You know what I mean? That way, just when people walk by the wall, they know. Put 19.
That's good. What's the date today?
Today is May 18, 21. There you go. Okay. Here we go. Kapil's answer is, money is experience. Youngest guest on the show. Money is experience. All right. This is a unique answer because you're also 19, 20 years old right now, and your answer is experience, not youth. So what does it mean, money is experience?
I think money could buy you experience.
Money can buy you experience?
Like I'm not talking about the experience in terms of credibility.
Okay.
I'm talking about like, see, I believe in you live once, right?
Sure.
And I think that dollar bills or money, in just terms of looking at it as money, can buy you a lot of experiences. Like, you know, I want to give my family down the road the best experience they can imagine of. I want to give my parents the best experience they could imagine of. So I think money has given me a lot of experiences in life at the early age. And the answer could have been youth, but I've been kind of, it could be that answer, but I think.
Well, when you wrote experience, I thought you meant like credibility experience.
No,
and I was like, oh, that's unique experience, like in age and so forth. And that's like, oh, you didn't go with youth. But you're saying money is experiences.
Experiences.
And it's true because if you think about it, if you stop and think about this, and I've thought about money as experiences a lot in my own, as I think about that question of money is.
Right.
And if you stop and think about it, people say money is freedom, and you have all these kind of like big high version views. But what is that really getting you? And at the end of the day, if you stop and think about it,
it's getting you the experience.
You're creating the experiences. That's what money is really doing, right? And that doesn't matter if it's like family stuff, or it's vacation stuff, or it's you want to give back to your church stuff, or it's we did a thing with OUR and Tim Ballard.
Yeah.
Like all those things are experiences. Yeah. Experiences.
That's all about experiences.
Money's doing all those things, right?
Yeah.
So you say money gives me time. Okay, you want time to do what?
Make more experiences.
Create experiences. Like stop and think, you know what I mean? Money's like giving me freedom to do what? Make more experiences. You know what I mean?
So it all ties into experiences.
100%. Yeah, no,
I've
spent a lot of time thinking about this word.
Yeah, so that's why I put it on there, because 20 years old at this moment, and I could experiment with my life. I could do whatsoever I want. Mm-hmm. I could travel wherever I want, sit with anyone I want, or go spend time with anyone I want. So I think all those are creating experiences, and I don't have to ask for a permission to anyone.
Yeah.
Or ask for a yay or a nay. It is what I want, and I'm going to do it. And I think it's all about this experience, and it's the freedom of thought that it leaves you with.
Yeah.
You know, you break through those points of when you start making money. You know, you break through those mental thinking abilities that now you can think more freedomful, mm-hmm. and experience more better.
Yeah.
So I think it all gets into, you make more money, your experiences become more better with better people.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about creating those life experiences, and as I said, you live once, so you want to get everything out of life that there is out there.
Yeah, sure. I created this thing called YOLO. You ever heard of it?
I have not.
I created it. Can't believe you don't know that. YOLO. You only live once.
And you're the perfect example right here.
Yeah, I created that. Me and Kim Kardashian created it together, and we hashtagged it with each other.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, called YOLO. Yeah, you should use that in your college days of partying.
Oh, partying.
When you go party, just remember YOLO. You only live once, man.
You only live once.
So go hard at it. No, it's very true, man. I love the answer because, again, I think just the word money is experiences is a deeper thought of what's happening. It's not just freedom. It's not just time. It's not just opportunity. All those things are leading into one kind of funnel, which is experiences. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and money has the ability to create
all those answers that probably, I think they all lead it to one thing. That's an experience.
Yeah, because what else are you gonna do with it? The money. Like, what else are you gonna do with it? You really start boiling it down.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to other people. Okay, that's gonna create an experience. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly,
it doesn't matter how you tie it. It's all
it's
money's
all about
creating experiences and all those things right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, super good answer, especially coming from a young age. This is Kapil. Kapil, if they want to follow you right now, what's the easiest way for them to follow you?
Definitely follow me on Instagram. It's do you want me to give my?
No, we'll put it on the bottom of the show notes.
Instagram's the best way to get a hold of me.
We'll put your handle on there. Yeah.
Follow me on
so Instagram is the best way to follow you. Are you big on MySpace right now?
I am.
Yeah, MySpace. You're crushing it over there. I'm huge on what's the other one that used to be out there? Vine. See, I think I'm talking over his head right now because he is. You're too young. You're too young, man. Vine came in. Brittany was huge on Vine.
Brittany
she had a big following on Vine, and it crashed and burnt. So
yeah, I was like MySpace and Vine. I was like,
yeah, MySpace is huge, bro. I'm crushing it. It's me and Mark, and not Mark. What's that guy's? Tom. Me and Tom on MySpace. Just we're murdering it over there, dude. There's about 20 of us on the whole platform, and yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Okay, hey, you guys watching the show on the Money Is Show. This is my best friend Kapil, 19 years old, youngest guy on the show, talking about entrepreneurship and the immigration process of entrepreneurship as well. You guys follow him. He's going big places. A lot of people that I know, a lot of people that I hang out with, and I would honestly tell you guys, if you follow Kapil, I think he's going to go somewhere. You guys should follow him. Follow that journey with him as he goes through it. You will enjoy it on a personal level. You guys go follow him. This is Kapil. We'll see you next week on the Money Is Show.
Thank you.